What is going on? This K-Dog's Kennel coming at you here on the tube with my Week 13 picks. Hope everyone had a very, very good Thanksgiving holiday this past week. I'm glad it is over. And now we move on to the other holiday, that being Christmas. But like I said, hope everyone had a very good Thanksgiving holiday. We had a great week last week. We went 12-4 last week. Ended up being a really good week. I actually started 8-0 before Cleveland upset Tampa Bay. So thanks, Tom Brady. Appreciate that. Um, with going 12-4 last week, that brings us up to 112, 69-1 for the year, which is incredible. Doing a lot better this year than we did last year. So we are going to kick this video off with the Thursday night game. 8-3 Buffalo Bills taking on the 6-5 New England Patriots. I've got the Bills going over in this game. Simply put, I think the Bills are still the team to beat in the AFC. Yes, they've stumbled. Yes, they've kind of tripped up. Buffalo kind of got displaced a couple weeks ago when they had that record-setting snowstorm in Buffalo, or I think Orchard Park is actually where their stadium is at. But either way, they got damn near 70 inches of snow. They had to relocate to Detroit. And then they played Detroit at Detroit on Thanksgiving last week and barely got by the Lions. But the Lions are actually, they're showing that they can be a good team. It's just going to be interesting to see what Detroit does the rest of the year. Again, I do think Buffalo is the team to beat in the AFC right now. And they're still my Super Bowl. They've been my Super Bowl pick since the preseason. But New England, it's at Foxborough. Bill Belichick, he's always got, shenanigans up his sleeve up in Foxborough. But the Patriots, at this point in time, I don't think the Patriots have the fuel in the tank, so to speak, to take out Josh Allen and that high-powered Buffalo. Oh, it's my cats running up the stairs. I don't think Buffalo has – or excuse me, I don't think New England has the firepower to keep up with Buffalo. So I got Buffalo going over on Thursday night. Next up, Sunday, 4-7 Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the 5-7 Atlanta Falcons. I picked the Falcons in this game. Again, I talk about home field a lot, and I think both of these teams, they're doing better than expected. The Falcons are now without Kyle Pitts, their star tight end for the rest of the year, who just had, I think it was knee surgery. It was an ankle surgery. Might have been knee. What was it, S'mores? Should hurt S'mores, meow. But I do think Atlanta is slightly better than Pittsburgh. Plus, it's at home in Atlanta. Give me the Falcons over the Steelers. Next up, the 4-8 Green Bay Packers taking on the 3-9 Chicago Bears. Let me tell you, I really waffled on this game. I went back and forth. I went up and down. I went left and right. I went diagonal, for Christ's sake. Every fiber of my being wants to take the Chicago Bears. But because I'm a Packers fan, because of the rivalry with the Bears, I can't take Chicago over Green Bay. I have to take the Packers in this game. Both of these teams are ass. They're freaking donkey shit. They are horrific. I just can't take Chicago over Green Bay. I cannot do it. Aaron Rodgers, all week. Everybody go, K-Dog, Aaron Rodgers broke his little thumb. He broke his thumb. That's why he's not playing good, because he broke his little thumb. Piss off. Aaron's been playing like shit all freaking year. It's not because he broke his thumb or he got hurt in the loss to Philadelphia and he busted up his little ribs. You know what? Sit the worthless bastard down, put Jordan Love in, and see what our future holds, because Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be a Green Bay Packer after this year. So... because quite frankly, I don't think Aaron Rodgers has the goods anymore. And honestly, that's not so much Aaron Rodgers' fault as it is Green Bay's fault. Because you know what? They should have been putting people and getting playmakers. Aaron should have more than one Super Bowl. That's just how I feel about it. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Packers fan. I'm saying that because I'm a football fan. There's no reason in the world Aaron Rodgers has not had more than winning one Super Bowl back in 2010. But like I said, I cannot take Chicago over Green Bay. My heart will not let me. My heart has picked against Green Bay a lot this year. I just can't pick them against. I can't pick Chicago over them. So I'm going with Green Bay. Next up, 4-7 Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the 4-7 Detroit Lions. I got the Lions going over in this game at home. The Lions are playing well. It's not when they have lost, it's not like they've been blown out. a lot this season. Detroit sticks with. They took Buffalo to the limit last week on Thanksgiving, and damn near beat them. But I love what Dan Campbell's doing there. I hope that despite the fact Detroit's probably going to finish with a losing record, that they retain him at least one more year and see what he can do. Because I think, like I said, Dan Campbell's done a fantastic job in Detroit. Detroit's not quite there yet. They need a franchise quarterback. Jared Goff is not the answer in Detroit. Jared Goff, I'm sorry, is not the answer anywhere. Jared Goff might as well go down to the XFL when it jump starts in 2023. Because honestly, I think that is. I just don't think Jared Goff is it. I don't think he was it when he was with the Rams, for crying out loud. Jacksonville, hats off to Jacksonville. They had that last second win against Baltimore last week, shocking the Ravens. The Ravens were up by 9 points in that game. Jacksonville stormed back and won the game. I was impressed. But like I said, Jacksonville's been one of those. Okay, they're here, then they're here, then they're here, then they're here. It's like with Jacksonville, there's no consistency with Jacksonville, and that's what makes it very difficult to give them the edge per se. Is an up and coming team like Detroit? Will they? Which Jacksonville team is going to show up? I like Detroit at home. Next up, 7-4 New York Jets taking on the 9-2 Minnesota Vikings. I got the Vikings going over in this game, but I think this game's going to be a lot closer than most people think. I think the Jets do have a really good defense. They have a formidable defense. The Vikings, Kirk Cousins, big win against New England Thanksgiving night. I think the Patriots are a better team than the Jets. So, again, it comes down to I don't think the Vikings – I think it's going to be closer than what people anticipate, but I like Minnesota at home against the Jets. I think the Jets might squeak into the playoffs this year. I really do. Don't count New York out. I'm telling you. The other New York team is a different story. Next up, 7-5 Washington Commanders taking on the 7-4 New York Giants. I got the Commanders going over in this game. Taylor Heinicke has done fantastic. They've actually head coach Ron Rivera has stated Taylor Heinicke will be the starter moving forward, even if and when Carson Wentz is ready. And I think that's a smart move. You go with your hot hand. Carson Wentz played like ass. Again, Carson Wentz, all due respect to him, when he was with the Colts last year, he sucked. He was never that great with Philadelphia. Everybody's like, oh, okay, dog. Carson Wentz was the quarterback when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. No, he wasn't. He was injured. Nick Foles took the Eagles to the Super Bowl when they won Super Bowl 52. Not Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was out with an injury. The Giants, again, they started white hot. They were like 6-1, I think it was. Maybe was it 6-1? Maybe 7-1. And then they came back down to earth. Are the Giants a smokescreen? Possibly. I don't know. But the Commanders have been riding high. And you know what? I got to ride with a hot hand, and I got to go with the Commanders on the road against the Giants. Next up, 7-4 Tennessee Titans taking on the 10-1 Philadelphia Eagles. I got the Eagles going over in this game. The Eagles, oh God, everybody and their mothers wants to say the Eagles are the best team in football because they have the best record at 10-1. Guys, records don't mean shit. Don't misconstrue that. I'm not saying Philadelphia is not good, but they're the softest 10-1 team I've ever seen. Look, and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. You look at Philadelphia, and yes, they've won 10. They got beat by the Commanders, matter of fact. But it's not that Philadelphia isn't good. It's just the teams they've beaten haven't beat them at full strength. And I'm not making excuses for that. I'm just saying the Eagles are not the favorite in the NFC, in my opinion. They're up until the longest time, I actually thought the Vikings were going to be the favorite in the NFC. Now it's like you have to consider Dallas. You have to consider San Francisco. Can give these Eagles a run for their money. The Titans, again, I'm not quite sold on Tennessee. I'm not saying Tennessee's a bad team. I mean, again, they're 7-4. They're probably going to win the AFC South because somebody has to win that division. But I just don't think they're as good as Philadelphia. So I'm going to give the nod to Philadelphia at home. Next up, 3-8 Denver Broncos taking on the 7-4 Baltimore Ravens. I got the Ravens going over in this game. The Broncos, I swear on the luckiest penny in the world, the Broncos are shit. Everybody was like, "Oh, the Broncos are a caliber quarterback away from contending for the Super Bowl." Well, guess what? You got that caliber quarterback in Russell Wilson, and you're fucking 3-8. The Broncos suck. The Broncos are ass. The Ravens, last second loss last week to Jacksonville. Justin Tucker, I swear to God, I saw that 67-yard field goal, and I thought that motherfucker drilled it. I thought it was down the middle, but it was just short. I don't think the Ravens are going to have a problem in this game. Like I said, the Broncos just absolutely suck. Give me the Ravens at home. Next up, 4-7, Cleveland Browns taking on the 9-1 Houston Texans. I got the Browns going over in the game. Deshaun Watson will be making his first start of the year. Jacoby Brissett, he didn't do great. He didn't do terrible either. Deshaun Watson playing against his former team in the Houston Texans. I think it's going to be a quote-unquote revenge game for him, and I think he gets the win. The Texans are just dog shit. There's really nothing to talk about with Houston. They're going to have the number 1 pick in the draft, and you know what? Take one of these freaking high-caliber quarterbacks that are going to be in this next year's draft, because you know what? You damn sure need a quarterback. You need playmakers as well, but you need a quarterback. How you doing, Oakley? Next up, the 6-5 Seattle Seahawks taking on the 3-8 LA Rams. I have the Seahawks going over in this game. What do you want, my baby? I love you too. I've got the Seahawks going over in this game. The Rams are just a shell of what they were last year. They're absolute ass. They've been banged up on both sides of the football. And honestly, the Rams just look piss poor. The Seahawks, the reemergence of Geno Smith, I think the Niners are going to win the division, but I think Seattle can sneak in as a wild card. The Rams, if they lose this game, they're going to be done. With 9 losses, it's going to be real difficult to even sneak into the playoffs with 9 losses. So that being said, give me the Seahawks on the road. Next up, 8-3 Miami Dolphins taking on the 7-4 San Francisco 49ers. I got the 49ers going over in this game, and it's not because I think the Dolphins are a bad team. I just think the 49ers are a better team, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And I think that's where they're going to kind of stifle. They're not going to stop Miami, but they might be able to stifle them a little bit. Plus, the addition of Christian McCaffrey just makes the 49ers a lot more dynamic on offense. And I think when you have that kind of dual-headed, a solid defense in a potent offense, big question mark, though, obviously, Jimmy Garoppolo went down with a knee injury this past week. I have not looked to see if he is going to be active for Sunday. Obviously, Trey Lance out for the year. He broke his ankle early in the season, so he's out for the year. So I'm not sure who's going to start for San Francisco. Now, the more I think about it, but it's one of those I don't take backsies. I said San Francisco, I'm going to ride with it, the 49ers. I think it's going to be a heavy dose of Christian McCaffrey. Plus, you got Deebo Samuel. You got Brandon Ayuk. The 49ers can get it done, regardless of who's under center. It's just, I literally just thought about that. Garoppolo got hurt. Oh, well, whatever. We've got a solid record, so we're doing okay. Next up, 9-2 Kansas City Chiefs taking on the 7-4 Cincinnati Bengals. Rematch of last year's AFC Championship game won by the Bengals. I have the Chiefs going over in this game. A big reason for that, I've mentioned this also before, my boss is a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I didn't realize that she was a Chiefs fan until earlier this season. And so, maybe it's for her that I'm riding with him. But I mean, Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes looking like an MVP this year. For the longest time, I felt Josh Allen was the MVP. Now I'm leaning more toward Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is having a fantastic year. Everybody thought the Chiefs, when Tyreek Hill left and went with Miami, that somehow the Chiefs were going to lose a step. And honest to God, they haven't lost one single step at all. Travis Kelce has been playing out of his mind. You've got the new receivers for the Chiefs, Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Who the hell's the other one? Juju Smith-Schuster, I had to think, from Pittsburgh. Them, along with Mecole Hardman, has been stepping up. The Chiefs are looking like a well-oiled machine. I do think the AFC is going to come down to Buffalo and Kansas City in the AFC Championship game. It's just a matter of where is it going to be played. Is it going to be played? Right now, the Chiefs hold that distinction. The Chiefs are 9-2. The Bills are 8-3. Obviously, Kansas City would have home field advantage at that point. However, we're still a few weeks away from the playoffs. getting way ahead of ourselves with that. The Bengals, again, Bengals have been banged up. Not taking anything away from them. Nobody thought they would reach the Super Bowl last year. They shocked the world. I just feel on paper and on the field this season, I think Kansas City is a better football team than Cincinnati. I've got the Chiefs almost at home, but they're playing in Cincinnati. So give me the Chiefs on the road. Next up, 6-5, LA Chargers taking on the 4-7 Las Vegas Raiders. I got the Chargers going over in this game, but not by much. The Chargers, again, one of them wishy-washy teams. It's like they've played really well this season, then they played really bad. Then they play really well, then they play really bad. Again, there's really no definite line that the Chargers are trying to get on either side of, kind of like the Raiders. Everybody thought, Devontae Adams was going to make the Raiders an instant Super Bowl contender, and it really hasn't. I mean, the Raiders have been lethargic. I think the Raiders keep it close, but at the end of the day, I do think the Chargers are going to win on the road. I've noticed I picked quite a few road teams this week. The home team now for these last two. Sunday Night Football, very surprised the Chiefs-Bengals did not get flexed to this Sunday night. I think the Chiefs-Bengals is a much more appealing matchup than what the Sunday night game is going to be. 4-7-1 Indianapolis Colts taking on the 8-3 Dallas Cowboys. I got the Cowboys winning this game. Rematch of Super Bowl V back in the freaking 60s. Again, a tale of two teams going completely different directions. You got Dallas. Dallas is looking really good. That defense is looking really good. The Colts, again, much like other teams I've talked about, they've had highs, they've had lows. They have not really stayed consistent. So it's hard to trust that when you're playing a perennial good team such as Dallas. Yes, everybody wants to hate on the Cowboys, but you know what? Micah Parsons has that defense humming nice, and I think Dallas gets it done under the lights at home. Monday Night Football, we have the 4-8 New Orleans Saints taking on the 5-6 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Look, it's difficult to pick against Tom Brady at home. The Bucs have looked like crap. Somebody, Tampa Bay, Carolina, New Orleans, Atlanta, somebody has to win that division. My money's still on Tampa Bay. Saints, again, they've been hit or miss all year, but it's hard to go against Tom Brady and that Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home. I did miss the Saints and 49ers in the video. I put it in the comments last week. I apologize for that. Bye weeks I thought we were done with. However, we do have the Arizona Cardinals and the Carolina Panthers both on a bye this week. I do believe we have a couple teams on a bye next week as well. So I lied. Bye weeks are not done. So to recap, I've got the Bills over the Patriots, the Falcons over the Steelers, the Packers over the Bears, Lions over the Jaguars, Vikings over the Jets, Commanders over the Giants, Eagles over the Titans, Ravens over the Broncos, Browns over the Texans, Seahawks over the Rams, 49ers over the Dolphins, Chiefs over the Bengals, Chargers over the Raiders, Cowboys over the Colts, and the Buccaneers over the Saints. That is going to wrap this video up. Went a little bit long because we had more games to talk about, but that being said, we're going to get some more Red Dead Redemption 2 up a little bit later on, letting my headset and my controller charge right now as I'm making this video. So stay tuned for that. Also, want to give a massive shout out to Poggers for sponsoring this video. You can click on the website listed in the video description, and it will take you to their website. Poggers sells cups, and they sell powdered energy mix, so you can just mix into your drink. And if you use my promo code Kennel, you will save 10% off of your purchase. So feel free to do that. Again, a link is in the video description. Let me know what you guys think of Week 13. And like I said, give me just a bit, and we will be back with some Red Dead Redemption 2. Me being off tomorrow, I'm going to try to get a couple of videos of that up tonight. With my work schedule this week, I've kind of been getting at least one up a day, but like I said, with me being off tomorrow, I do want to try to get at least a couple videos done tonight in addition to this. So enjoy Week 13, and I will catch you guys in the next episode. We'll be back next week for Week 14, and again, we'll be live with some Red Dead Redemption here in just a little bit. So till then, guys, take care. We'll catch you in the next video.